Morning folks. Well, been an interesting one this morning. I've just started my 26.2 mile challenge for Buds Run, so for Parkinson's UK. And actually my run turned into 1.6, 1 mile, 2.6. So 2.6 miles today. So dead pleased with that. And then we had to do a virtual club mile, which, yeah, that was also quite interesting. Anyway, I managed to get under 8-minute miling, so I was quite pleased with myself. A little bit of help from my furry friend, but you know, you've got to take it while you've got it. Andrew had his magic shoes on, so hey, that's my little bit of help for my little dog. So today I wanted to do a bit of Stretch Out Sunday, but I just wanted to revisit the thorax a little bit. I know a lot of people have problems with the thorax. I treat lots and lots of runners. In fact, most of my patients are runners, and generally we start by loosening off the thoracic spine, which is the area from here up into the ribs, because it's an area that gets very, very stiff and tight. So if we think, so I can't work at the moment, however, I'm doing lots of gardening, lots of knitting, so I'm sat in this position all the time. When I'm working, I'm in this position all the time. Typing on a desk, this position all the time. Cooking. So everything we do tends to be flexion based. So this tends to stiffen up our sort of thoracic spine. It takes away from our natural posture, our head's poking forwards. So we need to make quite a bit of an effort to A, to get it mobile, and B, to get it into a better position. So really we need to work on the extension of the thoracic spine. So bringing the sort of thorax into that nice upright posture, and then just taking our arms out into this position. And it's quite interesting actually. I mean, I've actually learned a few things from working through all these videos with you all. My balance, I know, is bad on my right leg, but I've been getting some pain on the inside of my foot, and I've not been able to get rid of it. It's not been enough to stop me running. However, I've worked out that one of the reasons why my balance is well, when my balance is poor, my right foot's really overworking and clawing on the ground, but also my soleus is really, really weak. So when I do a knee bent calf raise, it's actually really, really weak. So lots of my smaller intrinsic muscles are working way too hard, and also my shoulder stabilizers on the right are really, really poor. So it's worth working through some of the videos and just trying some of the things, because you will find things. I think the key is it's all about helping you understand your body, okay? And that's what I want you to sort of go through. And even if you haven't got the injuries, if you can come up with some areas that are weak, it might help you prevent getting injured, and actually might get you stronger and perform better, because all the key muscles that we're working on are the key muscles that you need for running. Anyway, let's go Stretch Out Sunday. So thoracic spine. So let's loosen it off first, and then I'll go through a couple of exercises that I do that are helping me loosen mine off at the moment. So first of all, you know, just have that big stretch. Okay, arms above your head, and just open out that upper back, okay? And then you can just start just bringing your arms, can we see that properly on the video? If I go around that way a bit more, and we're just bringing them in to a windmill effect, and that just starts to work. Your scapula's a little bit better, and it just stretches out the front of that shoulder joint, which just invariably gets really tight. Okay? So now a lot of the athletes I see, I've actually gone through this with them, and the ribs are like dinner plates. I'll sit up for this bit. So they're actually stacked on top of one another, and you know, yes, we mobilise from the back and we press on the spine and we get it, you know, sort of moving, but it's actually, if you think about the ribs, they sort of dance and they move like this, and actually what we want to do is we want to get them dancing. So if we can just get a little bit of mobility going through those ribs and just move them side to side and just help them just float a little bit, you know, mine are stuck and a bit grungy, just while you're sitting, and I'm just trying just to get those ribs just moving a little bit more just while I'm sort of sat. And for those patients that have seen this before, this is a bit of a reminder just to sort of just try and just, you know, just gently just get your thumb in between your ribs and just get them moving a little bit. And if you're moving with them, just helps. And then you can just lay yourself back down again, and you can just do it in that position and just get those ribs moving a bit. Okay, That's it. And then just work all the way up, okay? So, and then the other thing that you can do is just have a little feel. What's going on in that diaphragm? Mine's actually pretty good today. I would say it's been opened up quite a lot on that run this morning, but you can put your hands on your lower ribs and you can just do some deep breaths in and out. And just make sure you're really opening up those lower ribs. And this releases the obliques, it releases the diaphragm, and it just really helps just with that general lower ribs, abdominal area. So and just do 3 or 4 breaths in that position. So then what you can do is you can just start taking your knees gently side to side, because again what that does is it just starts to loosen off your obliques a little bit. And you know, I go that way, everything feels pretty good. I go that way and it's quite a lot tighter. You know, just get in and just think, oh, I just release that a little bit, just see if I can just make that a little bit freer. Yeah, and just see what's going on. That's it. And then if I breathe in that position, it just opens things out a little bit more, just using breathing just to help me a bit. Okay, so that's sort of lower ribs. And then we get our little friend, foam roller. Okay, I think this is a great way of extending that lumbar spine. So foam roller under your upper back and just take yourself forwards and backwards. Nice, eh? I really like this one. Okay, so a little bit of foam rolling done. And then I do want to bring in some rotation, so I will bring in some rotation from my lower back because it gets my thoracic spine and it gets my pecs as well. And back over the other side. Don't force this if your back's a bit sore. Okay, so then going to go into some of the sort of more classic sort of thoracic spine releases. Most people already know these, but it's just a nice little reminder. So we get into onto a nice all fours, weight above your shoulder, head down, back up, and then back up the other way, and then down. And it just gets all those joints of your thoracic spine and your lumbar spine moving. That helps oil them. It helps stop them sticking, gets all the little motor patterns going, just reminds your body what it's meant to be doing really. Okay, and then quite a nice one for your shoulders is just take the arm through and just hold it there. Mummy, no. And then through the other side. Sorry about that. Okay, and then just take yourselves back. There we go. And again, it's quite nice to do a couple of breaths in this position just to open up the lungs at the bottom. And then I like to take it over one way. And then back over the other way. Okay, so if we then go into a sort of position, flat position, and just start just pushing yourself up. Make sure you don't do it all from your lower back. Make sure you start from the head and the upper back, and then you come up. Lovely. And just do 3 or 4 of those. Try and keep the head in the same posture rather than tilting it back. That's it, lovely. Okay, now just to start working these scapular retractors, so the muscles in here, it's a bit like the glutes. So let's just sit up to talk about this really. So to get your shoulders nice and stable, a bit like the glute, we want the scapular retractors, so the muscles in here, working to keep your shoulders back into this position and just to stabilise the shoulder. What happens is if they're not working and your shoulder comes forward, your acromioclavicular joint gets stuck on the top here, and then your rotator cuff muscles that come under that space there just become pinched and inflamed, and that's when you get that sort of sharp pain in your shoulder. I've got to work quite a bit at the moment just to get mine working. So this is sort of what I'm going through, just to start loading those joints up a little bit and just to get them working. So while I've got time, it's important to work on these things. Okay, so I just start just in a nice easy position, just bringing my shoulder blades back. Okay, and then I'll just do some external rotation of my arms and just work on that as well. So I'm just lifting the forearms up in that position while I've got my scapula stable. And you can just lift the head and the upper back up as well. Okay, so if we're going to start loading the upper back a bit, we've done a session on how to keep the thorax strong and rotated, because we want to control that rotation. We don't want to limit that rotation. We want our rotation to be strong and we want it to be nice and mobile. So we've done a talk on that. So how I just start to load my thorax. So if my thorax is my weak spot, and I know I want to get it a little bit stronger into my upper body, then I would just start off just in this position, and just start bringing my shoulder blades back and just holding it there. Okay, I wouldn't do anything else in that position because I'm not strong enough. And then maybe I think, right, let's just go into a little downward dog position. Okay, so I can sort of keep things, correct in this position. And if you want a little bit of a challenge, what you've got to do is you've got to see if you can hold things stacked and correctly. So can I do that and lift up one leg? Yeah, just about manage that. And can I just about do that? Yeah. So, and can I lift an arm? See, for me, yeah, see, lifting an arm's much, much harder. So I can't do that. And this is the key with these exercises. Try them, but if you can't do it properly, stop at the one before, okay? So we're in a nice stacked position there. And then we're going to go down. I'm going to come back up again, okay? So then I'll stay on all fours. I would normally do this one standing, but I'm just going to do it on all fours just for the video. So then I would do probably here. That's it, you can see me here. Right, so shoulder blades back. Okay, in that position, I'm then going to just do some press ups on the wall. But because I've got my shoulder blades back, I'm really working. Okay, then I would get my band and just do a little bit of work. Now, how do I do this? Right, so I'm going to put my arms above my head and I'm going to put tension on the band, okay? And then I'm going to come into a lunge position. Well, that was terrible, wasn't it? Better on that side. But what I've got is, if I come down and show you, I've got my arms above my head with tension on the band, okay? I've got it for on the floor, so it's not really working for higher up. Let's tell you what, let's do, that's it. Okay, so we've got that going on, okay? So we can do that into a lunge position. Or I can keep that tension there and I can bring it down. And as we go up, just do into a squat position, okay? So all of those exercises, I've been working my scapular retractors and I've been working my core as well. So quite important. And what's good to remember is you got to work everything together. You know, we don't work muscles in isolation quite so much. We do at the very beginning, but to progress we don't. And you know, there's loads of different progressions. So I then get my patients then doing handstands, so we can go from downward dog up onto the wall doing handstands. Now, I'm not going to demonstrate that to you, and I'm only going to encourage those that know they can do it to do it. But I just wanted to say that our progression's there, and really all the exercises I'm giving you are safe exercises that you can do at home. Those that are doing this, that want the reminder, just, you know, that once they've got the downward dog, yeah, and they've got it stacked and they can lift an arm and lift a leg and it's all good, then they can start walking the feet up the wall. However, if you can't do that and you're not strong enough, don't try. And use the bands as well. But anyway, so hopefully, you know, my thorax feels much freer now. That should really help. Okay, stretch out Sunday with a little bit of extra thrown in. Bye.